That's
Well, guess who's here? Zsa Zsa, what's new?
Nobody beat me up today yet. That's what's new.
Zsa Zsa, are you going to the slammer?
What is a slammer?
A jail.
I hope so. The judge said I have to go to the slammer, so I go to the slammer.
You're going for 3 days.
I would like to see the inside of a slammer, because if people are as innocent as I am, then I would like to meet those people.
Inside the jail.
They're probably very nice, nicer than the Beverly Hills people in some of the restaurants.
Yeah. But this is not so. This is not so funny. I mean, jail.
It is not.
The
fun.
door's going to go clang, and
I have a claustrophobia. That's the only thing I have to wear.
you have to wear what they give you. You know.
I love it. I read somewhere that I'm going to have a red kaftan, and red is a good color on me.
But the
The food is bad. They said it's lasagna and mashed potato, which I love, girls, but I was such a big fan, it's better if I don't eat it. I have salad.
yeah, Zsa Zsa, you slapped the cop.
I slapped the 6'4" gorgeous cop with a gun in my face. Are you crazy? He nearly killed me. I won't use a dirty language because I know how proper you are, and I know you for years.
Thank you.
But he used such horrible language. If you or the King of England, of Mr. Bush, would do that, I would have slapped him too. You can't use a lady like me, you effing H, get out of the car and put my diamonds into my wrist.
Yeah.
Which hurts, girls. Diamonds. It does.
But Zsa, you appear. Here's the problem.
There's a big problem. They think I'm some kind of a murderess.
Well, it's more than that. It's like, not everybody thinks this.
I
But,
hope not.
well, but some people think you're kind of looking at the United States and giving it the finger.
What does that mean?
Well,
I don't
you know, like.
United States, I am by choice an American. I don't have to be American. I speak 6 languages. I'm invited, since this happened, to London, Australia, France, Germany, Italy. They all say, get away from Beverly Hills. Not America, darling. I adore. I don't like Beverly Hills so much now because I'm afraid to drive a Rolls Royce. What is that, communist Hungary? You can't drive a Rolls Royce? I'm selling them kids because it's too expensive to upkeep anyhow.
I can't believe that in a country as great as ours, that a 6'4" policeman can beat up a lady of 5'4" and use dirty.
5'5". Don't
5'5" and use dirty language as if she were a streetwalker. I think Russia can't be with.
A prostitute or a drug addict. He said to me, I just came back from Rome where I made a 2-hour special for the Pope, Easter Sunday, in 4 languages. I went to London, I made a television, that maybe you know the Terry Worm show.
Yeah.
This is too local. Terry Worm show with Barbara Cartland. I went to Palm Beach to close my house. I was very conceited because in Rome I had
Where do these views come from? Listen to the judge. The judge appears to want to give you behavior lessons.
Well, maybe yes, the mother said 3 days in jail will be good for me because I'm always wild. I'm not going to change now.
Your mother said that would be.
Mother said 3 days is just right.
Here's what the judge.
My mother always thinks I'm wild. But mother says, thank God I only have one of you.
Yeah. Here's part of what the judge said to you on the occasion.
Oh my God! Don't
well,
repeat.
just watch it for a second.
You know, he looked like if you need a blood transfusion in the end. He was pale.
You think he was? This was.
He's a very charming man, actually. I like him.
Oh, well, here's what he said.
I do like him.
Here's what he said.
I liked him. He's very sort of interesting. He looks like Mozart.
You will be judged by what you say. The public will judge you by what you say, and not necessarily the people about whom you're speaking, right?
But I said the gospel truth up there. The gospel truth. I don't know if you know what that means.
Well, let me tell you how I view this, Ms. Gabor. I view that you've conducted yourself outside this courtroom with a continuing public tantrum. And it's time for you to stop it, and for you to behave like the lady that you so repeatedly say you are.
I think I am.
Okay, thank you very much. Court is in recess.
Can I say one thing about the tantrums? Now, this is serious now. While I was handcuffed, my skirt was up until Honolulu because I had a very full skirt. It went up and I was handcuffed. I couldn't pull it down. On the floor somewhere in Olympic Boulevard, there was lots of people looking on. There was one Yugoslav, and I knew we'll understand this, one Yugoslav woman who was the only one who dared to come to me and says, why do you do that to Zsa Zsa? The man said, F off. She is no good. She is rich. And the woman said, I love her. This woman testified. She saw the whole thing. The judge, not the judge, the district attorney and the judge treated her like if she were a street walker. She has 2 children. He says, your son was in jail. He says, for what? When he was 15 years old. How do you call that thing the children play on, that wooden thing? There's a wooden...
Teeter-totter.
No. Skateboard. Skateboard. He was arrested. The poor skateboard went too fast. The Yugoslav lady on the end sat there and was treated like, not America, but like if she were a Russian spy. I started to cry. I said, I am also European. I can't say it. I'm also European refugee. You can't talk to us like that. And that's when I got out.
So you had sort of...
I was upset about this one
So there were
woman.
memories of your childhood and the brown
No,
shirts?
it was memories of Europe and the Nazis and the Russians treated us like that.
Yes. Now let's talk about that for a second. Josh, stay with
don't
me. It's
like
an hour show. Now don't fade on me now. I mean, I
don't
can't...
fade so.
Here's my
Get
question.
me a Kleenex. You're a
we'll
married
get you
man.
one Kleenex, please. This is we have a lot.
I always admired him, but he married one of my nicest girlfriends.
Now let me just ask you this,
I was
Josh.
crying, didn't you see?
I did see. We'll get you. Wait a minute, I got here.
I can't stand the poor Yugoslav woman is supporting 2 children, works as she can support them, and she was treated like she were dirt just because she's not American.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. Now, please give me
This
just...
is not fair. This is ugly.
Give me just a moment. Please. You're a proud Republican. You worked for Nixon, Ford, and Ronald Reagan.
And also for Mr. Bush, but I was
Mr.
on
Bush.
when Mr. Nixon
Yes.
lost for Watergate or whatever he
Right.
done, I don't know, because
Right.
I respect him. He opened China, he opened Russia. I was on television show for him. I was booed off the audiences. I still said he's a good man, and I will always say he's a good
I know.
man.
Oh, very good. Now here's my
Los
question.
Angeles hates him.
So you are then necessarily what we would generally have come to describe as a law and order person. You don't want to see the anarchy and the decay and
What is anarchy?
where the society just collapses. And one of the ways that we
I have to
hope...
undress myself. I'm getting warm, he says. Such highfalutin words.
You do make it... You make it difficult to concentrate,
I don't,
Josh.
always difficult on men. All my life.
Here's the point. If we're going to retain the society that we hope and dream to have,
I hope.
we must have a uniformed police force that is entitled and worthy of our respect.
Right.
And there's no doubt about it, as in any community of professionals, including talk show hosts, not everybody necessarily reflects the values of Mother Teresa.
I do.
But now, wait a minute.
I really do. I am
Right.
married, I know, but I do.
Right. So when you accuse one of our police officers of...
I don't accuse. I say the facts. I say the gospel truth.
You
I don't
said he roughed you up, he used the...
Roughed me up. My hand is still hurting after 4 months.
Right. But America now struggles with the dilemma of deciding whether to believe an actress from Hungary against a homegrown guy who looks a little like Tom Selleck and
Much
wants
better.
the world to know that he was only doing his duty.
He's
so you put
gorgeous.
us in the middle on this.
He's gorgeous.
You liked his eyes, too.
I told him, officer, you're so handsome. Why do you hurt me? He says to me, I'm going to break your effing arms and effing... Let me tell about the officer. You're right. I always say he should run for president. I would vote for you. I love you.
Well,
because
thank you.
I also respect you.
Thank you. Thank you. You can stand beside me at my announcement, Zsa,
And I will campaign.
and all America will wonder how well I do after I throw my...
I brought in 4 presidents. And when I
you
came,
did? You have a winning record.
and when
Make
I
your
came
point
in,
now
I
about
went
the cop.
with Mr. Kennedy for 6 months. I'm the only woman alive who he didn't try to sleep with. Is that an insult?
The cop. The cop,
no, Mr.
Judge.
Kennedy.
Officer Kramer.
Officer Kramer. I come back from Rome, London, Palm Beach. I'm at home, washing my dog like usual because I have 5. Telephoning, the secretary of my manager says, Miss Gabor, you forgot that Mr. Carlos's birthday is today at Le Don. It was 11:30. I said, all right. I put on my new Rome dress, which is gorgeous, short, wonderful. And I jump in the white Royces. We have 2, a blue and a white. The car was locked up for 6 months. We were in Europe and in Palm Beach. And I bypass the president, go to Le Don, and I said, I had a painting which Madame lost from here in New York, sent to my mother, 2 blonde girls and a redhead, and Mama is arriving Sunday, and I says, after the party, I says, Carl, where can I have that picture frame cheap and fast? He says, drive down La Cienega. It's much, Beverly Hills is very expensive. La Cienega is cheap. I never go to La Cienega alone because I don't, so I go down La Cienega, minding my own business, 35, because I'm very slow, because I'm not the world's greatest driver, I know that. So I drive the damn Rolls-Royce, which cost me a fortune. All of a sudden, somebody stops me, this policeman, red lights, the whole thing. Comes out, I say, my God, is that a good-looking guy? Say to myself. And he is. So he says, Miss Gabor, your thing on the back of the car is expired. But my darling angel, in the front of the car is a plaque which I got from Mr. Nixon, saying the White House, re-election year, 1973, Zsa Zsa Gabor. He worked for Mr. Jesse Jackson. I have nothing against Jesse Jackson, I know him, but I worked for Mr. Bush this time. Anyhow, I didn't know all that, we found out later. He says it's expired. I says, listen, officer, it did not expire. I had to pay $1,000 a year for the thing because it's a Rolls-Royce. I remember, it hurts. In France, we say la douloureuse. La douloureuse means the hurting one. When I signed that damn check, I remember it because obviously, Zsa Zsa Gabor, why do you need this car? Which I got from Montgomery Ward as a present because I was a goodwill woman. Right. So I says, officer, I know I signed. He said, let me see. He goes back quite a bit back on the telephone, which we found out late in the courthouse. He says, I just arrested Zsa Zsa. They say, Zsa Zsa Gabor, I will give her a hard time. 10 minutes, 50 minutes passes by. A young actress drives by. She says, Miss Gabor, help me. I need a job. How is it possibly arrested? Now, after 15 minutes, I get out. I says, officer, can I go now? And I didn't bring I wanted to bring you an English magazine, which is just written down this day. And he says, F off, which means in Europe, go. Nobody ever said that to me. Now, the Hello magazine, there's an article right now, they just said, Miss Gabor was said F off, and that means she'll be left. So in Europe, they said. So I left. Now, 15 minutes in this heat. The Rolls-Royce, you can't put on the air conditioning because it boils over, the whole car goes to hell. Anyhow, so it always goes to hell. It cost me $5,500 since.
Yes, it's a quarter after now. Go ahead. I mean, we got a lot. I want to hear this, but we got lots of folks want to ask you questions.
How long is the show?
Well, it's we've got about another 45 minutes.
I want to tell you, Larry King called last night, and I never go on the show again because he allowed the telephone calls to be so insulting. And
well, don't blame him for his phone call.
I made 5 shows for him when he needed me.
Well, he's a good guy. You're going to blame him now for that? All right, now.
He could have defended me once.
All of a sudden, your air conditioning went out, and you're talking about Larry King. Now, come on, let's.
Air conditioning. Well, because I thought about it, I got so mad from the heat. Yeah. All right, so I'm driving to. I said, excuse me, I nearly said 35. Forget the picture framing, I have to get a doctor checkup because I just got back from Europe. So I'm driving on Olympic, all of a sudden sirens, red light, a car, the bicycle in me, motorcycle. Yeah. And he says, I can't say it in it's so vulgar. You're effing H.
Effing W, yes.
No, yeah.
Not important.
You spell it,
H is fine.
You spell it with W.
H is fine. Don't worry.
In it's English language I never learned. Why do you put a W?
I don't know.
Anyhow, she says it, and we said I had this earring, this on my hand, this, and he puts his big hand. He's gorgeous, 6'4", arms like this. We saw him later on the court. He's really gorgeous. Put that in, but he doesn't know maybe how strong he is because he's a big 8. So he gets me out of the car, and I says, officer, you're hurting me. He says, I'm going to effing well break your arms and your legs. With that, I spanked him, but not on the face, unfortunately, on the helmet. I even hurt my hand. So he says, now I'm going to show it to you. His macho image, he's gorgeous, the women, men, animals, everyone loves him. And Zsa Zsa Gabor, the European bitch, dares to do that to him. I figured it out late. Now he slams me on one side of the car, puts this damn thing on me very tight on this side. Now he picks me up, slams me on the other side of the car. But then I said, Zsa Zsa Gabor, if it screws up your face, you can't work anymore. That's your livelihood. So I said, officer, please don't do it. Now he kicks me with his Nazi boots. I have boots, I am a horsewoman, but he's much bigger than me. He has Nazi boots. Now I shut up. I said, Zsa Zsa, maybe this is your last day of your life, and some girls will be very happy that you died. I want to tell you one thing now without joking. This man had a gun on my face level. He could have taken out the gun and say, as self-defense, I shot her. Who would have stopped him?
Well, he didn't.
You know why he didn't?
He didn't. He didn't shoot you.
Because he would like to sleep with me, I think.
See, Zsa.
I am sure.
Here's the problem. Now, Zsa,
big problem.
please, you don't need me to lecture. I'm not lecturing. I wasn't there.
No.
I
wish you would have been
Listen
there.
to this.
Nobody was there.
I also believe this. I also believe that there are some cops out there who probably shouldn't have passed the test. There are police officers who rough up people in the cruiser and outside the cruiser. Please stay with me. It's important to me that I make myself clear here. The vast majority of police officers want you not to judge them on the behavior of a certain few.
Right.
One other thing. We are asking our cops to do an awful lot. This will just take a moment, Judge. Just give me a second here. I'm not going to be pontifical.
I give you 2 minutes.
All right. Oh, I don't need it. Here's the point. We're asking cops to fight the drug war.
I know.
We're asking. It's not fair what we're asking cops to do. The seat belts, the drinking, how much you're going to breathe, whether you walk down a line, speeding, stop signs, burglaries, family trouble. These guys are getting shot covering man and wife stuff. So in this environment, we not surprisingly want to believe that this officer behaved according to the book. And when you come along and say he roughed me up, he used profane language, a lot of conscientious Americans will be out there thinking, well, it's possible, but what works against it is what we perceive.
The establishment.
You know, your persona. Your persona. You know, you're accusing them of wanting to go to bed with you. You talk about lesbians in prison. You said that it's like Nazi Germany. And a lot of Americans are standing up and saying, shut up, Zsa Zsa. Do you know what I mean? That's the point here. I'm not saying I know who's right or wrong, babe. And you're even mad at Larry King because his callers were mad at you. We shouldn't be surprised his callers.
Can I ask you now a question, please?
Yes.
You speak so much about America. We speak about Beverly Hills. This man, we proved it, that 8 other women he beat up. A gentleman at in one of the departments who had a Rolls Royce, he beat him up. He stood 10 times in Beverly Hills. A young mother, American 100%, flew in from Virginia. Her sister is married to the people who owns Ryan Publication. That woman said the same cop handcuffed her, took her child out, a 2-year-old child. Her sister sat in the back. She threw herself before a bus for help, and the man arrested her, put her in jail because she disturbed the peace. Well, which mother, I threw myself with a bus for a dog, and I've done it many times, which mother will not throw herself with a bus to have help? Nobody in your wonderful Beverly Hills helped the woman. Nobody helped me except a Yugoslav woman who they made out of her nothing out of it. Now, if America is so very conscious, why don't they check on this one cop and find out how many women he roughed up, how many men he roughed up?
There is a police board that does that, and there are
Well, they don't do it.
Well, that's very possible.
And I am an American as good as you are, and I worked for America all my life, but I don't think it's right in Beverly Hills that just because he's a handsome cop, he's in Rodeo Drive now giving autographs.
He's signing autographs?
Autographs
You made him famous, Josh. Listen, now here's another thing that makes people upset.
Many things make people upset because
here's a promotion spot for, and this isn't even our station. Thank you, Channel 4, for looking the other way.
CBS.
It's for CBS, and we're,
you know what CBS done? They double-crossed me.
You're mad at Larry King and CBS. I give you a chance. I just want the people to see this.
Yeah,
Roll the tape.
It's an awful photography.
Zsa Zsa,
You wouldn't believe this, darling, but when I first came to America, my English wasn't this good. But then a wonderful thing happened to me. I started to watch Wheel of Fortune, and I also learned the greatest proverb of them all. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Play Wheel of Fortune tonight at 7:30 on Channel 2.
They can take away my husband, they can take away my driver's license, but darling, don't touch my wheel.
Don't touch my wheel.
Now I want you to listen to me a minute. I want to listen to me.
I'm listening.
Apropos CBS, there's a man, an old wino, called Mr. Bill Stout at CBS, who makes, now you have to listen to me now, editorials for the last 12 years. I had trouble in Philadelphia.
In Los Angeles.
First, I will say these three things, if I may. I came from California to you. From Philadelphia, there was some handicapped children. I was playing 40 Carats. I don't know if you know the play. I played on Broadway. I had 15 changes. I have never time. It's 3,000-man audience. The owner had the handicapped people exchange to sit further back.
I remember the
He calls me up. He says, Miss Gabor, you have to take the blame, otherwise they close up the theater. I said, I'll be damned if I take the blame. I work for the handicapped. I ride horses for them. He says, you're fired. I lost $120,000. I was fired that day. Mr. Bill Stott comes out. Zsa Zsa Gabor should go back to Hungary. Who the hell does she think she is? First.
You were accused of being abusive to the handicapped people who were in the front row
I
of
was
the
on
theater.
stage acting. How can I be abusing to people?
All right.
I don't see the people. It's a dinner theater where it's my livelihood, honey.
I understand
lost
that.
120. All right. Screen Actors Guild got $40,000 from the man as punishment for me, their lawyer. It didn't cost me a lawyer's fees, thank God, once in my life. Second time, I go on Delta Airline. Now listen to that, please. I have a 6-month-old puppy, and my housekeeper is all the way back. And you know why I was on Delta Airline alone? Because my husband, Prince von Anhalt, was beaten up a day before in Beverly Hills. He tried to get out $200 from the teller in the bank in Beverly Hills, and 3 men beat her up. Where was the police then? He was in the hospital.
Well,
now, let me finish Delta.
Well, honey, we got a break here. Just give me, can I ask you just one more question?
I am very mad. I'm Hungarian.
I know you are, I know. Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Doesn't have anything to do with the trial.
No, I come.
Oh, I just have one question.
No, I come back to Bill Stott.
All right,
He screwed up my reputation for a lifetime. Now, CBS has a
What do you care?
CBS has a contract with me to play this in November. They paid me $10,000. My fee is $200,000.
You mean for this spot, you mean?
In November.
Yeah.
And they played all over before. CBS wanted to do that to me.
All
But
right.
we are
You're mad at
suing
CBS?
I'm not mad. I'm suing CBS.
All right.
I cut the ribbon.
Judge, I have one question now. Come on. Give me a chance.
I give you lots of...
Here's the question. I read this in Parade magazine.
What did I do now?
They said you're 70.
That is full of bull. My mother is 84. She's an older daughter than I am. Look, sweetheart, we say in Europe, when you come to America, in 5 hours, you get 10 years old and 10 pounds overweight. And never a truer word was spoken. The women are jealous of me. I have all the best husbands in the world, and they all love me. And you know why they love me? Even in the world of Israel, because I never asked for alimony, child support, not even from Conrad Hilton.
And you take care of yourself.
And my daughter, and Hilton was a very rich man. He lived $365 million as a Catholic church.
And you didn't get a dime from this guy.
The child got 100,000, and his grandchildren got 5,000, because he said, I'm a self-made man. I love Hilton, and let them work. And he was right. I worked. He says, look at Zsa Zsa. He put me out. Well, we divorced. He was right. I was wrong. I fell in love with George Sanders because I couldn't resist him. I loved him. So I went with a 6-month-old baby, 6 weeks old baby, and left Hilton. And so I didn't deserve nothing, I admit.
We are in New York City with Zsa Zsa Gabor.
In mid-time, miss. In
the
mid-time.
one and the only. And we'll be back in just a minute.
In mid-time. That photography lights are all right?
Yes, you look wonderful.
You sure?
First of all, I'd like to say the cameras don't do you justice, Zsa Zsa. You're beautiful.
Not much time. We're running out of time.
Who's your primary jeweler?
Who's your primary jeweler? Oh, you took the question right out of my mouth.
Where's my jewelry? I have our own jewelry company now called Zsa Zsa Engagement Rings. I have about everybody engaged to me already, from Oprah Winfrey, everybody.
Yes.
Ms. Gabor, could you tell this audience why the judge insisted that you put your real age on your
You know what the judge done?
license.
They put my license plate as big as life, and they advertised my address. They broke in a house twice since then. It's against the law. The judge does, not the judge, the district attorney done that. It's against the law to advertise my address. Now people broke in, they broke my gate, but people brought me flowers too, so what the hell?
Yeah.
Zsa Zsa, are you going to write a book about this?
I wrote already 2 bestsellers. I'm writing a book, not about this, I write a book for Delacorte already for a long time. If I go to jail, I have time to finish it because there are no telephone calls.
Here's the judge. Roll that tape. Here's the judge insisting that you
The
use your-
judge makes me sick already.
All right, here he is.
Oh, shoot, I say.
Driver's license in your true name and with your true date of birth and physical description on the license, and you're to show the driver's license to the police upon request.
That's
I only do it if Laura Erickson tells her new age, because each time she came, I went in court, she nearly knocked my teeth. Laura Erickson from NBC. Laura Erickson, a very pretty blonde woman who hates me. She nearly knocked my...
Now we got, now you've got your media hit list here.
I don't care.
These
Laura,
people aren't going to be talking to me.
If Laura Erickson gives her age, I give my age.
Over here,
because I
please.
don't think she's younger than I am in a day.
Over here.
Zsa Zsa, are you staying at the Hilton?
Of course, but else I get a break.
Yes, please be brief.
Have you gotten other jobs or job offers because of this?
Not because of that. I had 2 movies before that. As a matter of fact, the job offers were just as good before. People seem to think that I got more jobs. I spent 2 months, about $40,000 out of my own pocket, aggravation, insults. The thing the district attorney said, liar. I only dislike one thing in life, and this I dislike utterly, a liar. Because a liar is a cheat, and I don't cheat, I don't lie. I say too much, I say it in the wrong time, but I tell the truth.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
I firmly believe that Zsa Zsa has definitely gotten a bum rap. I think people are trying to separate Zsa Zsa from who she is, a star, and I don't think that should be the case. I think the police officer should have let her go because she is Zsa Zsa Gabor, just like they should have let George Bush go if he ran a red light.
Wait a minute, we didn't hear your point. Just because they should, the same way they should have let who go?
Let her go because of the consideration that she is Zsa Zsa Gabor and who she represents.
You mean celebrities shouldn't be subject to arrest?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in violation that she had, just as if I said to a police officer, if I was in a violation that wasn't as serious, and certainly her violation was not that serious, that if I said, look, my father's a firefighter, or my father's...
Will you marry me? I love you.
Okay, I'm going to quote you the next time they stop me.
I will have to say one thing to this lady. I am not different than anybody else. I'm a housekeeper. I cook. I wash dogs. I do. I wash my horses.
Go ahead. Are you there, caller?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I was just curious about something. Alcohol has always been involved in Zsa Zsa's confrontation with the police. I was wondering if she considered herself an alcoholic.
How could I? I never drink at all. That's a wonderful question. I only drink Diet Pepsi. I don't drink, I tell you girls, why. It makes you old, fat, and ugly. And who the hell wants to be old, fat, and ugly?
Are you there, caller?
I don't drink.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know, why are you famous, Zsa Zsa? What have you ever done?
What did she say? Why am I famous?
I think I just joined Larry King in the old...
I am famous because I worked my fanny off all my life. I had 8 husbands, I never got alimony, and they were all good guys, and I'm a very good woman.
Over here,
Most women don't get a marriage off. I get it daily.
I just wondered
Eat your heart out.
Yes.
have you discussed with anyone what community service you're going to be doing?
Darling, I tell you what I want to do. I've done that anyhow. I want to help the homeless very much because it's sickening that in Bel Air we have $20, $30 million houses, and there are people who don't have a place to sleep in. I will give them clothes. I do it anyhow all the time. I will go and entertain them. I done it last Thanksgiving. I cooked for them. I served them. They all kissed me and said, Zsa Zsa, bring some life into us. Because I am not a dull person. When I go there, I says, guys, why don't you work? You might get, it's America. You can work. You can become the president. They say, oh, Zsa Zsa, blah, blah. But I like to help the homeless.
Yes, ma'am.
I happen to be acquainted with the young man that did your hair in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, when you were there for the National Horse Association Walking Horse, and I wondered...
Horse Association,
no,
yeah.
Yeah. And I know he was a liar. I was there in Shelbyville writing a 4 years.
Yes, you was. You was at the
Yeah. Do you want to fix her mic? Is her mic all right?
And And I was
I
wondering...
know you said I didn't pay
You
him.
took care of that account with the young man.
Let me tell you about this young man. First of all, he didn't do my hair, he done my daughter's hair. Second of all, the Tennessee Walking Association, who I love, I was riding a 4 years old.
Please let me establish that apparently this
was
company,
now in
they're
charge-
suing you for non-payment of $75.
They done.
Right.
The
You would
Tennessee
think you
Wa-
would tip him 75 rather than
Honey.
owe him 75.
I was invited by the Tennessee Walking Association. They had to pay for everything. But if he needs the $75 so badly, he's a very bad hairdresser. He's from San Francisco, but he done my daughter's hair pretty good. I didn't need hairdo. I was sitting on a wild filly, and I got a championship river. Tell that to that stinko.
Yes.
I am so glad you won't be on Larry King. Oh, thank you. But you know, I'm so glad you won't be on Larry King anymore because you're getting all this publicity and we don't care to hear about you. Okay, we need to say this.
You're right. No, you're very gorgeous.
I think you're having the time of your life watching this. I think you're loving this show.
You know something?
And now you're on television walking all over Zsa Zsa's face. Now,
no
come
one else
on.
has. You know, she's giving us blondes a bad name. You're making us all
Blondes
look
are
like...
getting a bad
Tell
name.
her one thing.
You're
She's
giving blondes a
You
bad
are
I
too
got another
jealous.
blonde
You are
here.
too beautiful to be so goddamn jealous. You are too handsome for that. You are too beautiful. You'll never make it, my dear, if you're that jealous. I know women like you.
Yes.
My mother would
Why
like...
don't you come here and shoot me, you stupid? You still won't get a man.
Maybe we better. It's about time for a few hymns here. I'll give you a chance here. I do have to break here.
Don't be so stupid. I have never been jealous of a beautiful woman in my life. You're younger.
You're calling me stupid?
You are
and you
very
can't even
stupid.
spell the W word?
What does she say? Sweetie, I didn't hear you. I don't want to talk to your kind of a woman. I really don't.
Then we'll be back.
You are very dumb.
In just a moment. Are you there? I'm glad you waited, caller. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I don't think that celebrities should get any preferential treatment. I just like to know how come Zsa Zsa didn't go along with the police officer's program and then press charges later.
What did I do?
Why didn't you just accommodate what the police officer wanted you to
But
do?
he nearly killed me. What the hell should I academic him? I don't know. I will go to jail. I will pay my dues. But the policeman should be, if you ask my honest opinion, because I was an ambassador at the age of 15 in Turkey, which is rougher than America. And I want to tell you one thing. If a man roughs up 10 women and men, just because they have foreign cars, they should be looked into it. You see, there is such a thing as a black cop and a white cop. Listen, Beverly Hills cops, they usually stop me and say, Zsa Zsa, are you married now? Can I marry you? I love them. This one cop has a very big problem. He's too good looking, that son of a gun.
Let me show the picture. Show him the picture,
Well,
Brian.
it's better looking than here.
Yeah, this is not the best
No,
shot,
that's
but
a
it's
bad
always
picture.
available to us.
He's
Yeah,
very
he's a very nice
smart.
looking young man with mustache and all. Yes.
Zsa Zsa, first off, you're a national treasure. But my question to you is, Hungary has given up socialism
Thank
and
God.
leaning toward capitalism. What do you have to say
Not
about it?
capitalism. We became democratic now. We were communism since I was born, which was a disaster. They killed my grandmother. They killed my only uncle, who is, by the way, the father-in-law of Congressman Thomas Lantos, who's on television all the time. We Hungarians come from the Tartar race. We are not like an Anglo-Saxon. We have to fight because we are that little, just like you guys said. A small country has to fight for their right. We don't give up so easy. You can only be shot once and you die anyhow. So what the hell can happen to me? So a policeman shoots me. So they say she was still beautiful when she died.
Ms. Gabor, you're beautiful. But, you know, sometimes I think American ways, too, I think you should have went along with the policeman's program. I think you probably talked too much, and you probably got on his nerves, and that's probably what made him rough you up. And then one thing led to another, and it turned into a big fiasco.
He told me, you fucking whore, get out of the car.
You keep saying about you're American. Aren't you ashamed of abusing the American justice system?
Don't be so stupid. I'm American for 30 years. I'm more American than you are because I became American by choice.
I don't abuse the American justice system. And that's what you've been doing and wasting a lot of our time.
I don't like to talk to dumb people. I don't talk to dumb people.
Yeah.
What have you learned from all this? What are you going to do next time you're
I learned
stopped?
one thing. I'm selling my Rolls Royce. I'm going to wear an American car. I'm not going to wear beautiful dresses because in Beverly Hills. But what about some of my friends who wear diamonds from here and here and sit in the bistro garden speaking how much alimony they get, how much. Listen, Mr. McMahon's wife slept with a policeman. She wants $25,000 a month's alimony with an adopted child. I had a child by Conrad Hilton, the richest man in America, one of them. I didn't ask child support. I didn't deserve it because I was unfaithful to him and I left him. This woman slept with a policeman in Beverly Hills and she still wants $25,000 a month's alimony. What do you say about those people?
Zsa Zsa, I think you're a riot, and I think
I
that
am a riot.
Yeah. And I think that the judge attacked you personally.
The judge didn't like me. I like the judge very much, a very intelligent man. The judge had to do it because our district attorney is running for re-election, and the district attorney is not a Republican, he's a Democrat, and he hates the Republican. But I'll always be Republican because I know what happened in my country.
Yeah, let me just show the judge one more time, apropos of this question. It'll take a second. Roll the tape. Here's the judge talking to Zsa Zsa.
I've been involved in the criminal law system for 23 years, and I've developed some familiarity with persons who display some psychological or emotional difficulties. I've observed a hyper or manic quality to Ms. Gabor's behavior that absolutely would not, and I repeat, not amount to a legal defense in this case, but that causes me concern about her possibly violating the terms of her probation. And therefore, as a term of probation, I'm ordering her to have at least one single interview with a medical doctor psychiatrist and to file proof with the court by December 29, 1989, that the doctor read the full arrest report in this case. So the letter is to say that she has.
Now, I tell you, the judge is 100% right. If I dare to fight the City Hall and the police department in Beverly Hills, I live there, I need 3 shrinks.
Yeah. But you've already seen a shrink, haven't you? Didn't you?
I saw once a shrink. It cost me $150. He didn't say anything. To the middle of my money, he said to me, Miss Gabor, what shall I do? Shall I divorce my wife? You're not happy. I says, listen, I'm paying for you. He says, I need an advice.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Yourself?
This took place during the commercial. Look at this. This is the woman who popped off and said that she was bored with you and get off television. And now look at you, made her famous, John. One more. One more. Is that ready?
Good.
Is it? Yes. Here's what you want to speak about. Here is the judge.
Yeah.
Now, we will all speculate as to how many Americans he may be speaking for when he said this from the bench to you.
I want to hear this because that was insulting.
Ms. Gabor, in this case, not only slapped the face of Officer Kramer out there on Olympic Boulevard, she turned around and slapped the face of every American by claiming that the United States is worse than communist Russia or Nazi Germany. She has demonstrated an attitude continually of contempt for law and order and these proceedings without a hint of remorse or contrition of any kind.
Well, I am a very good American. I love America. Why should I slap the face of America? I have to answer that myself.
Go ahead.
Now, look, Phil, you're an old friend. When I came out of the courthouse, when they insulted the Yugoslav lady, when one of the policemen under oath swore that I was sitting on the floor and I said to him a word I cannot say, lies, I said lies. I said the courthouse is like communist Hungary or communist Nazi Hungary. In the courthouse, this stinker judge, excuse me, my lawyer is going to get very mad, he didn't even make his homework. Will I, who became American, I'm so proud of it, say that stupid remark? I'm not that dumb.
The lawyer about whom you speak is Harrison Bull, your lawyer, the second one you've had, who wants to say...
The one I had, the other one wasn't a lawyer for me.
All right, well,
the other one wasn't paid, he came...
Well, the first thing I'd like to tell everyone is that in the sentencing scenario that we went through, I had an opportunity to examine Ms. Gabor's history. This woman has led an exemplary life. She has been a very charitable woman her entire life, has been given Humanitarian of the Year award, has been given awards that most of us could only dream about. So she's had a very exemplary life. The other thing is it's very difficult for people of prominence, fame, and fortune to get equal protection in our courts because of the extreme media coverage, and I think, Ms. Gabor, that this whole thing has just been
Would you have any, as an attorney at law with the right of free speech like anyone else, any comment about the judge's deportment on the bench?
Well, the judge had I think he's a fine judge, and I haven't had an opportunity to appear before him a lot. But you see, I think the situation is that in this case, Phil, what we did was we went to the Beverly Hills Courthouse and looked through all the cases for 1989 where this particular offense had occurred. And we found that only one circumstance other than this one had anybody been put into jail for this circumstances, and a lot of them were far more aggravated. So I think you talk about freedom of speech. I think a lot of what has happened in demand has been for what she said.
Just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you can kick us around. We'll show you that we can mete out justice, too. There's an overcompensatory kind of...
Exactly. It's not for what they do all the time. It's for what they say and who they are, and that's not equal protection.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Zsa Zsa, I'm engaged to be married. What's the best advice you can give me?
If you're engaged, don't sleep with him. Wait until you get married to him. Otherwise, he might not marry you. If it's
Thank
too
you, Zsa
late, then be very careful.
Well, we'll see that in needlepoint hanging on everybody's wall. Are you there, caller? I'm glad you waited. Hi. Go ahead. Hello, caller. I'd have waited for you. Yes. Yes.
I love this show.
Are you apprehensive about the kind of women you'll meet in jail?
I am looking forward to, actually, I tell you, I'd rather meet them than some of the Beverly Hills women who talk about facelifts, alimony,
Right. Are you homophobic and anti-gay, Beverly?
What is it?
Your comments about the Beverly Hills going to jail.
Honey, when you go to Beverly Hills luncheon, then the women talk about manicuring, about who is sleeping with whom, who facelift, and also who gets how much alimony.
I have nothing against gays or lesbians. I have lots of gay boys working for me.
No, I have lots of gay friends, good friends, real friends.
Yeah.
And lots of lesbians I know who like me. As a matter of fact, I was nearly raped when I was 15 years old in Switzerland in school by a gay lady. But I mean, I defended myself.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Are you there? I'm glad you waited, caller. Go ahead. Did I push this down?
One more insult and I blow
up. You got me so
up.
shook up. Hello, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, hi. I think you're absolutely fantastic, Zsa Zsa. I think you look great. And I love you, and I think the people in the audience that don't like you really shouldn't be there. But tell me, sweetie, who is your plastic surgeon? I want to look like you.
I don't have a plastic surgeon, God damn it!
Zsa Zsa.
Hang on a minute. Yeah.
Zsa Zsa, do you realize middle-class America exists in this country?
Do you realize that I am middle-class America? I
I think we're all jealous. I think you're all
No,
a
you're
little
not
haughty.
Why should you
She
be
thinks you're
jealous?
haughty.
Zsa Zsa.
Incidentally, this is I Love Zsa Zsa. This is a new record out. I'm telling you, I got a lot of things. Turn it down just a little bit.
I love that.
Write that book. In 6 months, you'll be #1 on the New York Times book review, and you'll be famous.
Zsa Zsa, stand up for your age and make us all happy. You're fabulous the way you are, and tell us how old you are. We want to be like that.
Oscar Wilde said a woman who tells her age tells everything, and I won't tell it. It makes me ill. My age makes me ill. My mother forgot my age.
Is this a publicity stunt?
I wish it were, sweetheart. I mean it, wish it were.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Yes, I am the Muffin Man. Now I am the Baller Man.
Imperial. Only our taste deserves the crown.
True Value Hardware Stores. Your place for service and selection, where you'll find their exclusive professional quality master mechanic hand and power tools.
The Drake offers an exciting weekend in New York at a special price. The only Swiss hotel on Park Avenue. For reservations, call 800-DRAKE-NEW YORK or 212-421-0900.
Yeah.
How much do you want for the rolls?
How much you want for the car?
Yeah, it went to the auction block.